Okay. Dope, dope, dope. Like this. Oh, what's up, guys and gals? Sorry, having a few technical difficulties and issues that I will explain in a minute or two here. Just let me get everything set up. Let some people come in and I'll explain. We'll get going here in just a second. My bad, y'all. My bad. Just getting my unfortunately getting my ducks in a row. Hey, Kevin, what's happening? Good to see you back, dude. Hoping I get a few more, or this is going to be one lonely show. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Gonzalo. Yeah, that's all right. Cool, 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 cool. Let's hope it's going to be more interactive with people online. I'll have to get some first. Sorry, getting messages in the background, guys. I'm just trying to, like I said, piece things back together. We're going to get going here in a minute, I think.
Burberry scars, stripping Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Burberry scars, stripping Perry on, living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to, I guess you could say, the voice of the squared circle, because it's just me. A show done for wrestling fans by, well, at least tonight, one wrestling fan. Welcome back to Top Rope, and yeah, for now it looks like you're stuck with me, just me, not DDP, but the greatest group champ in history, the soundboard god, jack of all trades, the master of absolutely none, the South Philly Psycho, or you could just call me Dom. It is definitely good to be back with you guys. I honestly thought I was going to be back with at full strength with everybody, and shortly before the show, like almost immediately before the show, Brucey told me he had a family emergency and he couldn't make it, and I can't seem to find Wendy. she was here because she was saying she was watching a movie with Jose, and now she's not. So it's just me and y'all. If I need a co-host, you're available. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Hey Kirby. Like I said, I kind of, last minute found out that 2 of the TRW T3 just went poof. So I'm here with you guys. I'm trying to get situated. I had some technical difficulties on my own end. Just not a great day to be me, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to try to regroup and get something going here. And I guess we could probably pick up where the week started off with Monday Night Raw, which was, honestly, wasn't the greatest show in the world. I know you probably saw the title of the show, and it was obviously going back to Nia Jax and that tables match with Lana, and oh my God, where she had kind of been dominating Lana the entire time, and then she missed that leg drop on the apron and started screaming about her hole. And I gotta be honest, when that happened, my first thought was, bleh, bleh. So why not try to find a way to make a joke out of it so I don't get nauseous? Because that was, a lot of the stuff that came out after the fact was funny as hell, but the original moment was like, I'm okay, I'm good. But yeah, it was just it was a very weird moment. I feel like ever since WWE had been asked by USA for more adult content, their response was, let's light people on fire and talk about our holes. So instead of getting the kids version of Monday Night Raw, we got the 21st century version of Beavis and Butthead. I don't know what's happening there. It was also weird that Monday Night Raw kind of started off like SmackDown from a year or so ago, because here comes Shane O'Mac to announce a match, and I'm thinking wait, is he the general manager now? Why is he even here? What? He don't even go here. What the fuck is this? And he announced the Elimination Chamber, which where Drew would be defending against Sheamus, AJ, The Miz. It was all former WWE champions. I know it was Sheamus, AJ, The Miz. Sorry, I'm still a little off, guys. Forgive me. I can't remember the other, but it was all former WWE champions, and that sparked, I believe it was Peter on Monday, to ask why do we have to go back around with WWE champions? Couldn't they just put somebody in it that were never champions before? Maybe give them an opportunity. Yeah, that was going to be actually, Kadri, that was going to be the question that I asked Bruce and Wendy, since I know at least Wendy had watched Raw with me. Was Shane O'Mac's announcement and the way they booked this basically a way to ruin the Elimination Chamber? Because I'm normally a fan of this particular match and pay-per-view. They have some great moments. They put together some nice matches, but it just felt like we're giving everybody the opportunity all over again. Randy Orton again, AJ Styles again, The Miz technically again because he cashed in at TLC. Sheamus again was complaining that he wanted a one-on-one opportunity, didn't get it. And if you guys are actually in the live chat, you can answer this too. Did the booking of the match actually ruin it? And for me, if it didn't ruin it, it definitely took some of the excitement away from it. It's you got The Miz in this match, right? But The Miz already has the Money in the Bank, the Money in the Bank in his hands. So even if he loses, he can just wait for whoever wins and cash in. Even if he's the second to last dude out, you got Randy Orton in this match. How many matches is Randy Orton going to get with Drew McIntyre? I don't mind seeing Sheamus because we obviously had the swerve that everybody saw coming from a mile away a couple weeks ago. I don't really mind AJ because his opportunity kind of got ruined by The Miz, when he did cash in technically the first time, but it just not only does it feel weird, it also feels like a big bowl of foreshadowing, like they're leading you into a spot where, say, Randy Orton wins this match, right? And then the following Monday on Raw, Edge comes out and challenges him. So guess what we have at WrestleMania? Edge versus Randy Orton again. Does anybody really want that? I know I don't. Like, there's a lot of people that you could put in front of Drew McIntyre, and I'd be like, okay, cool. Sheamus being one of them, AJ being one of them. Even if The Miz wanted to just straight walk up to him and say, I'm cashing in and I'll see you at Mania. Bobby Lashley. I've said on this show time and time again, Bobby Lashley is the guy who probably gave Drew McIntyre his best title match. Like, that was by far his best title defense. And he hasn't been in the picture since. And since he's also done a ton of things with the Hurt Business, the U.S. title. He's worked on his gimmick. He's worked on his in-ring stuff. He has really become an even bigger beast since the match with Drew. So why not give him another opportunity? Okay, let's see here. All right. Let's see. Kadrian says, it makes no sense. You got Lashley, Lee, and Riddle in a triple threat match. You should have put them in the chamber. Yes, put them in a chamber and maybe save the triple threat for WrestleMania, or give either Lashley, Lee, or Riddle maybe a win at the chamber, and then the rematch with Drew would come at Mania. Like, I'd be cool with that too. It's just like former champions and recycled bookings and all this other stuff, and you take something that was exciting for me and you just kind of drop it down. I don't know if you ruined it exactly, but you really took a lot of the excitement out of it, for me at least. It truly like bummed me out when it literally happened that quick. Like Shane said, I'm here to announce who's going to be in the chamber, and by the time he was done, I was just sitting there like, man. So yeah, there was that, and it's kind of hard to say it was ruined, but definitely took things down a few notches. Yeah, I'm not even sure if there will be a women's chamber match, to be honest, because yeah, no women's chamber. What the fuck? Like, I know it's a week from this coming Sunday. Maybe they decide they're gonna add in a women's match, but since no one has actually picked, neither of the Rumble winners have actually picked whose title they're going after yet. Typically on the road to WrestleMania, you get these choices leading into the chamber, and that way they know, like, say Bianca says she's going to fight Sasha. That means they have a chamber match on Raw with women to determine, like, who's going to fight Asuka at WrestleMania. Or they make Asuka defend the title at the chamber one way or the other. But yeah, I haven't seen anything about a women's either. That kind of bums me out too, because they put on a better match last year than the men. But let's see. Chris is saying, booking the Elimination Chamber with guys that never won the title makes sense. But how often does WWE do things that make sense these days? Not that often. Yeah, you answered your own question, dude. Not that often. Speaking of WWE not making sense, I know last week the three of us talked about it, and it's been brought up kind of ad nauseum since the Rumble, but everybody was talking about how Alexa Bliss's extremely short stint in the Royal Rumble didn't make any sense to them. And at first it didn't to me either. And then all of a sudden, I want to say beginning of this week, end of last week, I started seeing some of these tweets Alexa was getting from, he says, don't call me a troll. I'm not going to call him a troll. I'm going to call him a psycho-ass stalker. Because there's some dude keeps changing his name on Twitter and keeps sending all this shit to Alexa Bliss saying he loves her and he's gonna kill Ryan Cabrera. The last thing he said was he was going to her house in Orlando with the hashtag "Let Me In" at the end. I'm thinking this guy was probably the direct result of Alexa getting bounced so quickly in the Royal Rumble, because this is probably the first Raw as of last Monday that she hasn't been on in months, since she got drafted. So definitely since she started this new gimmick. So I'm almost wondering if these insane tweets from this psycho ass stalker had anything to do with Bliss's quick exit and then disappearance this week. It wouldn't shock me, but it would make a lot of sense. I mean, if the guy says I'm coming to your house, you know, you're going to stick around and go to work? Probably not. Because you don't know exactly, how serious this guy is. And we already saw what happened with Sonya Deville. That shit, like... yeah, exactly, Cater. The Bliss Stalker is like some seriously deprived or just I can't even talk about it because it makes me mad. He's just one sick motherfucker, and he's been bounced from Twitter, come back with a different name, different account, burners all over the place. Nobody can find him, and they keep saying they can't do anything about it legally because technically he's done nothing wrong. Oh, they actually identified him? Wow, I didn't see that part yet. Because, like, if you noticed, I'm stumbling over my words talking about it. So, like, this situation, like, I know it's one thing to be a fan or like, say, oh, Alexa Bliss, like, she's kind of cute, or damn, she's hot, or whatever. But this is some totally other level shit. Like, when you're threatening to come to somebody's house and get rid of their fiance and all this other stuff, like, you too far past you too long ago, and you need to stop and get some damn help. I'm glad they identified him. I hope they lock his ass up. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't care if he did anything. Threatening people is enough at a point to at least put somebody away or get the treatment or something to get them out of this girl's face and offer damn timelines and shit. So yeah, I digress from that, y'all. I'm sorry. That whole thing made me mad, and I've had so many people since Royal Rumble up until probably yesterday ask me, like, yo, what the hell happened to Alexa Bliss? She was hot, and she was one RKO away from winning the women's championship, and then she went to the Rumble, got thrown out, and then she disappeared, and this is probably the reason why. So I'm glad that I identified him. I hope they catch his ass, and I hope they take care of him, because I want to see Alexa Bliss back in the ring. More importantly, I want her to be comfortable just in life. Like wrestling's wrestling, but at the end of the day, people got to live their lives. Like, if she can't walk out her house without being nervous, anxious, scared, then that's a problem. I don't care how much money you make or who you are. I mean, you could say Randy Orton was getting stalked like this, and I'd be like, oh, poor guy. And I hate that son of a bitch. So shout out to whoever identified this man. I hope Miss Bliss is safe and comfortable and happy in her home and can return and to her life and feel better, because this is just god awful. I don't know how else to put it. Yeah, it really is, Chris. It's the DDP debut stalker storyline. But in reality, like, I would love for this all to be some weird swerve and DDP shows up on Monday Night Raw and says, "Gotcha, Alexa." Big smile. And by the way, that was kind of a horrible way to debut DDP. I'm sorry. It got brought up. I had to say it. It's a terrible way to bring DDP into WWE. If I remember correctly, he had an angle of basically People's Champ versus People's Champ, DDP versus The Rock, and damn if I wouldn't have wanted to see that. But even if you're going to put him in the ring with the Undertaker, this is how you start it. Like, ugh, bad taste. Even for like the end of the Attitude Era, whatever, bad taste. Oh, what do we got here, Kadrian? I don't care. It's hard to do a show without people to ask questions to. So I'm gonna look to you guys for a lot, and y'all are hooking me up. So thank you. It's being reported by Heel by Nature that another man's chamber is expected to be announced, and odds are slim for a women's match. That'd be weird though to have like two men's matches and make. Are we making both champions defend, but then the women are just like over on the side? I feel like we just went back to the Diva era, you know, if that's how it's going to happen. I mean, thank you, Heel by Nature, for reporting that. If it's accurate, it's just a little weird because, you know, all the stuff that women have done, including chamber matches the last few years, and now you're just going to leave them on the sidelines. I don't know. And, you know, I got to, now that I've gotten past most of my Raw stuff, I got to, take a minute, and I'm even going to ask people in our live chat, if you saw Impact, if you saw the very end, the contract signing, let me know what you thought about Tommy Dreamer's promo and the fact that like he snapped and took these two young boys to the woodshed at the end of it. Because if you haven't seen it, try to catch it real quick and let me know. Because I already said, like, I know Tommy's birthday is coming Saturday. We got No Surrender coming Saturday. I'm very excited for it. It looks like a great show. I'm going to be tuned in. And of course, Tommy's getting his title match. And I've already said, you know, Tommy's going to get a title match on his birthday as a gift. And most likely he's going to lose because that's just Tommy. But yes, exactly, Kadrian. After hearing that promo, that was deep. Like first he cut Rich Swann, and then Moose came out, and he and Rich and Moose were going back and forth, yada yada, blah blah, unified champion, whatever. And Tommy just went enough and just blasted them both. And I swear, it was like he took both. In my mind, he took both of them, put them over his knee, and just started spanking the living shit out of these youngins. Just let me tell you something, boy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're gonna learn to respect me. And I loved it. Of course, I loved it because my inner Bingo Hall kid was just chanting ECW and doing backflips and swinging a barbed wire bat. It was insane. Oh, going back to the DDP and the DDP introduction into WWE. Brian, who thank you for showing up, man. Sorry, it's just me. He said, I hated that fucking stalker storyline. DDP was a star, and WWE made him into a joke. Kurt Angle and Booker T were both defaced with their stalker storylines as well. Yeah, Kurt Angle especially. That whole thing, like that just felt a little too personal, a little too fourth wall break, a little too cringy. But yeah. But yeah, it was nice to see Tommy, you know, do the Tommy Dreamer is slowly turning into Terry Funk, and I fucking love it, by the way. I love Impact in general, but Tommy Dreamer is slowly turning into Terry Funk. Even in his last match, he was rocking the headband, and then he took these guys to school. Listening to him cut this promo on Moose and Rich Swann going into this title match reminded me of Terry Funk before the first ECW pay-per-view, where he actually won the title in the main event. Does that make me feel like Tommy's got a chance? I sure hope. I pray. I don't think, but I hope. I really hope. Yes, that was another thing I had planned. Thank you, Chris. I was gonna say when we after Bruce's intro, a very big happy birthday shout out to two Impact stars. Actually, the world's most dangerous man who's suspended right now, Ken Shamrock, 57 today. Don't look it, but 57. And my man who I've loved, I don't care what you say, Supermex himself, Sean Hernandez. Happy birthday, my dude. I hope we can. We have been working on some stuff to get you an interview. I had recorded you for somebody else doing an interview with you, and then we were supposed to work something out. Things got crossed up, schedules got mixed up. I'm hoping we can settle up and get something going in the future, man, because I'd love to talk to you, dude. You're a tremendous talent. Like, I don't care. So thank you, Chris, for reminding me of that. I'm a little scatterbrained, because again, like 5 minutes before the show, Bruce says he's got a family emergency, and I'll be damned if I know where Wendy is. Yeah, still haven't heard from her. If she does wake up or show up or whatever the case may be, you will see her pop in here. So maybe, just maybe, I'll get one of the other two up in here. And let's see from there. But yeah, I'm hoping for Tommy. I really am. And actually, one of the other things we were going to talk about was something that Kadrian had brought up on Twitter, and he's in our live chat, so maybe he'd like to go on with us and fill people in as I break this down. And that's women who belong in the 2021 class of the WWE Hall of Fame. I remember Kadrian originally had 4. He had Molly Holly, Victoria. Oh shit, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna look it up. He had Molly Holly. He had Victoria. He had Melina, which was cool. And trying to remember the last one. Michelle McCool. That's it. He had Molly Holly, Melina, Michelle McCool, and Victoria. And he asked which ones we put into the Hall of Fame. My response was, why not all of them? To be honest, I mean, they all deserved it for one reason or another. But if I had like out of those 4, if I got to pick 2, I'd say start out with Molly Holly and Victoria, and then maybe next year Melina and Michelle McCool, because just looking at the timeline of events, like Molly Holly and Victoria kind of paved the way for Michelle McCool and Melina. So I think we get them in this year, and then next year, Melina, Michelle McCool, that sort of thing. And somebody brought her up the other day. Oh, if I had to choose one, man, that's tough because they were both, trailblazing. But I'd probably go Victoria first. Like, that would be my number 1, Victoria, and then Molly Holly, and then probably Melina, and then Michelle McCool. I just feel like Victoria made the biggest impact. I mean, this woman started out as like one of the hoes in the Godfather's train, became a wrestler, changed the way divas fought in WWE, and made a lot of history. So I'd probably go Victoria first. Cause yes, Brian, she was awesome. And then Molly Holly. And you're right, Molly not being in the Hall of Fame is a crime. I think just as big, if not a bigger crime, and I know she's in as part of a faction, but just as big, if not a bigger crime, is Chyna not being in the WWE Hall of Fame on her own as a female competitor. As part of DX is fine, but Chyna needs to be inducted on her own. It's been too long. There's been so much petty bullshit from the power couple in charge of WWE. And this is, although I know the end of Chyna's life did not go well, take that out of the equation. And this feels like one of those situations the WWE tries to kind of sweep under the rug and not talk about and pretend like it never happened. It's very petty. Thank you, Kadrian. They try to pretend like, Triple H sneaking around behind China's back on Stephanie McMahon never happened, and that isn't the reason that China is not in the Hall of Fame. Like, there is something else, but we all know that it is. And so I've said this in other situations with, like, maybe guys like Benoit or something like that. After all this time, after everything that happened, it would probably make WWE look better if they just acknowledged the fact that this shit happened, owned up to it, and let China in. Oh, we were young, we were stupid, we're so sorry to have ever hurt China or her fans by letting our petty differences get in the way of the product. And to make up for it and to show you that we've grown, we want to put China into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. It would make you look better. It would make you look like the grown-up in the room, which you're supposed to be because you've been around forever, right? AEW's been around for a year. TNA's been around since, Impact. I'm sorry. Can you tell I'm old? Impact has been around for 15, 16 years, maybe a little more. You say what you want about ROH or whoever, but like WWE's been around forever. Ever. You're supposed to be the grown-up in the room. So be the grown-up in the room. Admit to what you did, own up to the shit, apologize, and let her in. It makes you look good. It's like they kind of like shoved her and Benoit, almost in the same spot. Maybe not, but close to. And talking about it now and actually like showing how far you've come since, the 90s, the early 2000s, showing how much you've learned and how much things have changed since that point in time would make you look like the grown-up in the room. It would make you look like the bigger person. And it would make fans like me, maybe like Kadrian, since he's calling it petty, actually happy. We might actually think like, hey, WWE, that's pretty good. Good for you. Like, yo, WWE, you let China in, you did all this shit. Wow.
Hey, that's pretty good.
That's all I'm saying. I had to throw that one in there. I know Kadrian didn't bring her up, but I brought it up on social media. I had to bring it up on the show. China was beyond revolutionary. Like, I know Victoria did a lot. China did even more. We had we've only had so many women in WWE, especially the last 20, 30 years, have intergender matches. China's one. Beth might be another. We had Sasha Banks recently with Reginald on SmackDown, which I was blown away by. She just and China's one of the few to hold an actual men's title. She's done a lot for WWE. She revolutionized women's wrestling and the way you looked at women in general. Not only that, she was one of the springboards for Eddie Guerrero with the whole Latino Heat gimmick. Like, I think maybe Chris was asking about Eddie Guerrero in another podcast. Maybe might have been Clark Street. I don't know. And Eddie going after China and becoming Latino Heat and bringing her the roses and all that stuff. That Eddie was always on another level, but that was the springboard that got him onto that actual level in the United States. So she did a lot for WWE. Put her in the Hall of Fame by herself. Welcome China. While we're at it, Christian. That's a whole other story. Wow, that's a tough question. So Chris was asking, basically, we know Chris Benoit will never go into the Hall of Fame. That's probably a given. Nor should he, which is okay. I'll give you that. But what about Nancy, aka Woman? I've heard that she was pretty good. No, Woman was a tremendous manager. And I know she didn't do a lot as far as WWE went, because by that point she was kind of off TV. Benoit didn't have a manager. She wasn't managing anybody. But all through WCW and ECW, she was one of the best managers / valets ever. She managed everyone, like Steiner's for a while, Doom for a while, Sandman, Kevin Sullivan, Benoit. She had a laundry list of super talent and Hall of Famers that she managed, and she was a huge deal. So just body of work and everything, I would probably put Nancy in the Hall of Fame. I would put woman in the Hall of Fame. Maybe under her maiden name, because we all know WWE doesn't like to use the B word, but that could be one way to do it. Yeah, thank you, Brian. Chyna was so loved by fans it wasn't even funny. Absolutely. I still love her to this day. You know, I know she had her problems, but we all do. I even discussed that last week. Like, I'm not perfect. I had my problems. I'm a recovering addict that's over 19 years clean. I wish Chyna could have said the same. I wish a lot of people could have said the same. Like real talk, I've lost a few people because they couldn't say the same in my life. So nobody's perfect, but Chyna was so beloved, not just by me and not just by Brian, but by wrestling fans in general. And it's heartbreaking not to see her get that kind of acknowledgement from WWE, where she did so much. Drives me fucking nuts, to be honest, which is not a far trip. I call myself the psycho, so you do the math. And Kadrian says he wouldn't mind if women went in the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't either. I believe she deserves it. I truly do. Oh, thank you, Brian. One day at a time, my friend. Honestly, it's you know, I mean, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but at least for me, it's very easy, like walking in the morning and seeing my son, see him smiling at me, giving me hugs, or trying to jump in bed with me. And as soon as I look at him and I see that face, I'm like, all right, this day's for you, dude. And that's pretty much what gets me through, at least the last 10 years. But those first 10 were a little rough, but I made it. I'm here. You know, it can happen. So if you're out there, you're having the same kind of issues that I had, it is possible. It ain't easy. In fact, it's fucking hard, but it is possible. Coffee. Gotta love coffee. Let's see what I could work with on the rundown I had for these guys. Oh man, and I gotta say, I'm very excited for the Grizzled Young Veterans. Going into a little NXT talk real quick. I know they made it to the finals last year in the Dusty Cup. I had picked them to go to the finals and win the whole thing. I had my finals were, I think it was Imperium and Grizzled Young Veterans, and Imperium got bounced, but they got back to the finals this year. They're going to have a match at Vengeance Day, which is this Sunday, against MSK, which, if you don't know, is now 2/3 of the Rascals from TNA. Impact. What is wrong with me tonight, guys? I'm sorry. Like I said, this whole thing threw me off my game. I'm not used to flying solo, y'all. Impact. The 2/3 of the Rascals, Wentz and Desmond Xavier. I don't know their names now. I'm sorry, guys. I remember one of them starts with a K. One of them has the last name starts with a K. They're very new in NXT, so you'll have to forgive me. But MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans is going to be a dope tag team match. And I'm almost happy that I'm saying this without Bruce here, because I know he would just him and Hall because he doesn't like her. Shotzi and Ember Moon actually made it to the finals, and they're going to be taking on Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai in the first ever women's Dusty Cup final. So that match is going to be good too. If you saw Rhea, if if you saw Shotzi and Ember throughout this tag team term, they're damn good together. They look good too. Like coming out on the tank, matching face paint, got the crazy shit on. Like they feel like an actual tag team. Like they've been together 5 years and they've been together like 3 weeks. So I'm excited for them. I'd probably pick them, but I'm biased. I love Ember Moon. I love Shotzi. I love Shotzi Blackheart. I know Bruce doesn't. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm with you, Kadrian. Like, I love MSK too. They are very impressive on NXT. I'm still trying to figure out, like, if anybody out there knows what the fuck MSK stands for, please leave it in the chat or leave it in the comments below when I get to publish it, putting this up as an actual episode. Because they keep saying it, and I'm like, okay, what's it mean? They even got their own little, like, M bullshit, like hand signals. I'm like, all right, what the fuck does MSK stand for? You have not told me yet, and if you did, I must have missed it. I don't know where the fuck I was. But yeah, I don't see them winning the Dusty Cup, not this year. You know what they're going to be, Kadrian? They're going to be the grizzled veterans from last year. They're going to have great match after great match. They're going to get to the finals, and they're going to lose. And then maybe next year, they come back and win. Like the grizzled veterans are going to do this year. You know what I'm saying? Like that would make total sense to at least me. And since I'm the only one on the show, and it's my show, it makes sense. Fuck it. But yeah, the Vengeance Day card is small, but it's actually kind of good. I guess since I have all this time to sit here and chat with you guys, I'll go through it real quick and I'll give you some picks. I already gave you the Grizzled Young Veterans beating MSK. I'm gonna take Shotzi and Ember Moon over Raquel and Dakota Kai. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm sure everybody else is going to go the other way, but that's why I have 19 titles and you don't. Nanny boo boo. Anyway, the North American title match between Johnny Gargano and Kushida, like that could be a technical masterpiece, and I love me some Kushida. So I'm hoping he gets his first title against Johnny Gargano in this match on Sunday. Like nothing would make me happier than that. And of course the last match on the card, because I told you it's always a small card at TakeOver, but every match is like 20 minutes, half hour. It's like damn near 5-star. I'm actually excited for this one. The long-awaited matchup between Finn Balor versus Pete Dunne for the NXT Championship. Like, I don't know how many of y'all here watch NXT UK or just know people from the UK like I do, and I don't know, the two dream matches that I always heard. One was Pete Dunne and Walter, which we already had. The other one was Pete Dunne and Finn Balor, which we're getting this week. That should be amazing. Like, that's going to have everything that a wrestling match can possibly have. It's going to be technical. It's going to be stiff. It's going to be brutal. It could possibly be hardcore. Like this is a match. This could be like match of the week at this point. And I haven't even gone into No Surrender, but it's going to be good. I'm extremely excited for it. They need to kill Gargano in this way crap. Yeah, I'm with you there, Kadrian. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest Johnny Gargano fan. I've said it before on here, and I'll say it again. But all this Austin Theory on Front Street with all the stuff from the Speaking Out movement and none of which I've seen he was cleared of. Like just the combination of this guy gets on my nerves. This guy makes me want to cringe. Like, don't even get me started on Candace. That's a whole other can of worms. it just doesn't really, it doesn't float my boat. Is that a way to put it? I'm not feeling it. I'm just not. Let's see, Chris. Tom took the question out of my mouth about MSK. I still have no clue what it means. Yeah, seriously, dude. I thought I missed it. So thank you. I've even looked it up and I can't find anything on it. Don't remember who's who, but their NXT names are Nash, Carter, and Wesley. Thank you, Chris. I knew one was Carter. I think Wentz is Carter, and Desmond is Wesley. But don't quote me. I'd have to look it up, and I've got a ton of stuff open, so my computer might not work. But yeah, that's their names. Thank you, Chris. Chris, I appreciate that, man. All right, dope. So, I think since that went so well, I'm gonna try to give you a small preview of No Surrender. I had it pulled up. I had it pulled up over here. Somewhere. Okay. Cool. Oh yeah. Okay, so No Surrender is actually going to have the Cousins throwdown. Sorry about that, guys. Of my computer again. The Cousins throwdown of Cody Deaner, who's now just Deaner, versus Cousin Jake. And I'm probably going to pick Cody here. You know, I mean, Violent by Design's been hot. He's actually been a little bit better in the ring and on the mic since joining up with Eric Young and Joe Doring. And yeah, I don't know. Jake probably doesn't have any backup because everybody that was, you know, running with him, like Rhino, got laid out by Violent by Design. So yeah, give me Cody in the Cousin feud. I know, right? It feels like one of those Hatfield McCoy things, just cousin feuding. And then we're gonna have a no disqualification tag team tornado match for the knockouts tag titles. It's gonna be Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz in a rematch against Havoc and Nevaeh. And y'all, Havoc and Nevaeh got to do it this time. Like, no lie. It's nothing against Kiera. It's nothing against Tasha, but they are so damn good together and so damn dominant. And Havoc is a fucking beast. So I'm gonna go with Havoc and Nevaeh one more time. And I don't know about you guys, but it just dawned on me after all these months that Nevaeh's name is Heaven spelled backwards. I don't know why it took me that long to figure it out, guys. I apologize if Nevaeh is out there. I know I bumped into her on some Twitch streams and stuff. Sorry about that, homegirl. It's clear to me now. It wasn't clear to me for like 4 months, so my bad. Oh, I'll get back to that, Chris. Hang on. Let's see. And then there's a triple threat revolver match, which I think is kind of cool. Let me try to explain it. It'll be 3 people starting in the ring. If someone gets pinned, they're eliminated, and then another person comes out. And there's 6 to begin. There's 6 to begin with. They fight and eliminate each other until there's only 3 left. Once there's 3 left, the final fall will determine the winner. And I believe it's for number one contender for the X Division title. And the participants in it are Ace Austin, who just won the X Cup last month, I believe, Davari, Blake Christian, Willie Mack, who I love, Josh Alexander, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel, and Suicide. So they got more than 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's like, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like 8. But either way, if somebody gets eliminated after they start with 3, then another person comes out. And they keep doing that until there's only 3 people left. At that point, it's just a triple threat. Anything goes. And the next fall determines who wins and becomes number one contender for the X Division title. So I think it's kind of cool. And I would, out of these guys, man, it's tough. I think I might like to see Josh Alexander actually win this one. Like, the Walking Weapon is going to need, a little bit of a jump start to his singles career now that Ethan Page is, technically dead. So let him get the win. Let him get in the X Division match for the championship down the line. Probably be a good way to just kick off his solo career. Oh yeah, and then we got the birthday boy Hernandez teaming up with Brian Myers, and they're going to be taking on Eddie Edwards and Matt Cardona. And part of me wants to believe that Matt is going to swerve Eddie and go join up with Brian, but that feels too easy. So possibility, but don't quote me. I'm going to take Eddie and Matt in this one. I mean, Brian's got an injured eye. He's rocking a patch, and Hernandez can't keep up with both those dudes. So I'll take Edwards and Matt Cardona. The X Division title match is next, and that's it's gonna be TJP versus Rohit Raju again. I know Rohit brought back like Shira, that big dude he used to run with, and all that, but I'm gonna take TJP in it. He retains his title, and then he gets in a match with Josh Alexander down the line. That's fire. Oh yeah, and then of course we have the Impact Tag Team Championship match, which is going to be the Good Brothers defending against Private Party. But now, since Private Party on Tuesday interfered in James Storm and Chris Sabin's match on Impact for the World Tag Team titles, they're making it a triple threat. So it's going to be the Good Brothers versus Private Party versus Sabin and Storm, who I think they call beer guns. Again, don't quote me. But it's Sabin and Storm. And man, okay, my head says pick the Good Brothers, but my heart says pick Private Party because that's going to keep this interpromotional thing going on. So I'm gonna go with my heart. I'm gonna say Private Party takes this and brings the Impact Tag Championships to AEW, and then maybe they gotta give the Good Brothers a rematch on Dynamite. Let's see. Chris said he thinks either Ace Austin or Chris Bay is going to win that X Division Revolver match. Yeah, I could see that too. But I'm right about Josh Alexander, though. Yeah. I mean, he's out on his own. He's been out on his own since Hard to Kill. This would be a good way to just jumpstart his singles push, which he definitely deserves because that dude can go. And the last match of the night, Rich Swann defending the Impact World title against my man, Tommy Dreamer, on his 50th birthday. And this is another one. My heart wants to say Tommy, of course, but my head wants to say Rich. Good luck, Dreamer, but you're going to lose. Rich Swann. And then down the line, he'll probably face Moose with the title unification or something. But yeah, I don't see Tommy standing much of a chance against Rich Swann. Like, It'd be great, but no. But no. And okay, so to start to wrap things up here tonight, we did Women's Hall of Fame. We talked about Alexa Bliss. A lot of women on this. Oh, of course, we can't start the show with all the My Whole stuff and not talk about the Forbidden Door because Dynamite last night from start to finish, man. I'll be honest. When I saw the card outside the main event, I'm looking up and down it, and I'm like, man, Lee Johnson and Cody going up against Peter Avalon and Cesar Bioni or whatever his name is, like Layla Hirsch against Thunder Rosa. What is this, like a glorified dark? Like, this don't look like it's going to be that good. But when I watched it, I was wrong. I was wrong, man. It was so good from top to bottom. Like, shout out to Lee Johnson for getting his first ever win in like 30 freaking attempts. It was definitely interesting that he was trained by QT, and when he thanked everybody, he thanked Cody, he thanked Arn, he thanked Dustin, he thanked everybody but QT. And then you looked in the back, and QT Marshall behind him looks like Taz in the background. He just mean mugging with his arms folded. I don't know. I think there's something there. It just felt that way. And Thunder Rosa versus Layla Hirsch was a tremendous match. We also, got more of the MJF and Sammy Guevara debacle live on TV, where MJF tries to record what he's saying, Sammy catches it, breaks his phone, hits him, and then MJF plays it up with the wrapped up ribs. Oh, Sammy jumped me, and later on, Sammy just quit the Inner Circle, which I was like, whoa, hold up, what, you quit? Like seriously? You're done, huh? You're just done. I thought like Revolution's coming up and we're going to have Sammy taking on MJF and the loser has to leave the Inner Circle. I had said it a couple times on this show. And then all of a sudden, he just tells Jericho, I'm done. I quit. And he walks off. And he doesn't even just walk out of the ring. He leaves. He didn't walk out of the ring. He didn't leave the Inner Circle. He left AEW altogether. Said he needed time. I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, this is definitely not the way I thought it was going to go. Like, what do we do now? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Oh, hey, Neil, thank you for showing up on this odd night. Yeah, AEW was definitely 100% awesome, like top to bottom. I totally agree with that, man. But yeah, the whole Sammy thing kind of took me by surprise. It was like, I expected you to go to war with this guy. I did not expect you to take your ball and go home. So you got me there, Dynamite. Like, I'm not worthy. And of course, you had the Bucks talking about how they wanted to defend their titles before Revolution. You had, oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna get to the main event, Brian. But yeah, Dynamite was quite cool. I loved it too, and the main event was absolutely brutal. We're gonna get to that in a second. And then we had, I don't know how drunk he was, or if he's got something planned, or if he's just as dumb. But Hangman signed with Matt Hardy while drinking at a bar. I don't think that's a good idea. Something tells me that's going to bite him in the ass, kind of the way Chucky did with Miro, as being his butler in that wedding last week. Like, when that happened, I felt like this can only go wrong, and it did. And now Hangman signed with Matt Hardy. I got that same feeling again. As soon as he put pen to paper, I could hear, that old Star Wars quote in my head. Just, I have a bad feeling about this. And then the main event. I mean, that main event was epic. It was a fucking saga. Like, it went everywhere. I wasn't sure. You know what? Let me backtrack to Neil's comment. I'm sorry. We'll get right back to the main event. He was asking, did he pull a different contract out of his jacket and sign it? I wasn't sure. I got to be honest, man. I thought the same thing. And then I had asked I had asked some people privately, like the guys from the show, and they said, "No, I didn't see that. I didn't see that." And I was like, "You're the first person that caught on to that besides me." So I thought I was crazy till you mentioned it. So maybe he did. I guess we won't find out till next Wednesday, but it did look like maybe he had pulled something out, like from his jacket, and put it on the table and gave it back to Matt. I don't know. I thought so. We could be right. We got to wait another 6 days and find out. But that main event, y'all, that was absolutely epic. Like, it starts off with Kenta clocking Moxley in the head with that briefcase, and I'm like, cash in now, do it. I mean, he didn't, but I mean, it went all over the building. There were all kinds of crazy spots. That metal table, like, I don't know about you guys, but as soon as I think it was Kenta hit that metal table, I felt it in my bones, sitting on the couch. Oh God! Oh! Do we have any like icy hot or something? There's, I think I pulled my back just watching it. And then Kenta with the double stomp onto the table. The table didn't break. It was like, oh no. I'm not saying I'm a big deal. I'm saying I've been there and I've done that. And you know, they say it hurts worse when the table doesn't break. They are absolutely fucking right. That must have felt awful. But all of them showed out in their own way. But nobody shined in that match more than Kenta. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like a mark. I don't want to do any of that. But that man was above and beyond anybody else in that match. Anybody, even the guys that came from the back, he outshined them all. It was tremendous. It was Kenta finally got to be Kenta, because I don't know if anybody else has followed him as long as I have. But if you remember him in NXT and WWE, or even before that, and then going into NXT, you realize, like, once WWE got a hold of him, and this is not new, but maybe it was back then. Once WWE got a hold of him, they flat out ruined him. And even if you're going to change his name, like, let Kenta be Kenta. But they just never really did. And then he left and went back to Japan and joined the Bullet Club. And, you know, all these years later, finally gets to, you know, come back to the States, get on national television and show what he can do. And in my opinion, steal the whole damn show from everybody else in that ring, including the AEW champion, including the cleaner, man. Like, it was so good to see. He was tremendous. I'm hoping this leads to more. I know, like I had said, you know, Tony Khan, backtracking a little bit, went on Impact and thanked Don Callis for opening his eyes to these experiences, and that he was the forbidden door, and he had to open himself up to these things, which is why he's letting Kenta in, and he's letting the Impact guys come in if they want, and he's open to all these new experiences. The forbidden door works both ways now, according to Tony Khan. So does that mean we're going to get more from New Japan along with Impact and, you know, maybe NWA or whatever else? I sure as hell hope so. Because everything they've done to this point has been amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to Private Party and the Good Brothers this week, this weekend, even if it is a triple threat. I would love to see Kenta get a shot at the IWGP US title on Dynamite or at Revolution. I think that would be tremendous. You know what, Chris? You do make a good point there. Injuries didn't help him either, but booking was probably, you know, just as bad as the injuries. It was maybe a 50-50 kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a little from column A and a little from column B, no matter how you slice it. But it would be really cool, like, if maybe at Revolution or even the Dynamite before Revolution, you have Mox defending the US title against Kenta, and then maybe getting a rematch with Kenny at Revolution. I don't know how it's going to go. Either way, I'd like to see more of Kenta. I want to get New Japan involved in this more, just more cross promotional stuff. Oh yeah, you know what, Neil? We actually, I think it was Kadrian that brought it up last week, but yeah, he brought the same thing up. Omega versus Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom in January. Champ versus champ. Yeah, winner takes all. If Ibushi still got both those belts and Kenny's got the AEW championship, somebody's walking out with 3 titles. You know what I mean? It would be tremendous. You know, just knowing the history from all the way back from the Golden Lovers all the way through the Golden Elite, and then and then like, say, I think Bruce brought it up last week, but say Ibushi gets to win the AEW championship and hold 3 belts. It means he's probably going to get to come to Dynamite and work in America again for the first time since, like, probably one of the, New Japan crossover shows, work on an American television show for the first time since, like, 205 Live or the Cruiserweight tournament. And yes, Neil, Omega is still AAA Mega Champion. He's got the AAA belt and he's got the AEW championship. So only a few more stones, he can get the whole damn gauntlet. And they've almost got enough promotions to get it for him. You know what I mean? But yeah, I was truly impressed with Kenta the other night. I hope this leads to more. I really do. It sounds like it's going to with Tony. I'm trying to, again, be cautiously optimistic. But damn, it's hard because that was just too good. Like, I'm not sure how many people they can What is Devin asking me? Do I want to hop on with them? Just finished our interview. I guess I could do that too. But yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see. Let me holler at Devin right quick. It's definitely going to be interesting to see where things go from here. And I think on that note, because it looks like I might be getting a guest spot on another podcast. Maybe. Stay tuned. I'm going to sign off for now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Bruce and Wendy will be back next week. Hopefully. But until then, I want to thank everybody for showing up. I want to thank everybody that's, supported us to this point. And if you haven't yet, please come follow our social platforms. You can find Top Rope on Facebook. You search for it. We got a public group. Invite yourself. We have pick forms. That's how I ended up a 19-time champion. We have live discussion threads. And you basically get to be you. It's like ECW or AEW. The inmates run the asylum. Like, I'm an admin there, but I don't have to approve your posts or anything else. If something's wrestling related and you want to post it, you just do it. And as long as it's not like too much pander monkeying or whatever, it all flies. So it's a very cool group. We have some of the greatest members there, like, no lie. We have close to 400 members there, and they all just love and enjoy wrestling and talking with other fans and talking with guys like me or Bruce or gals like Wendy. It's great. If you're on Twitter and you don't know, please come follow us at TopRopeWT, and you can follow us on Instagram at top_rope_wrestling_talk. Sorry, I know it's long. Bruce made it. Blame him. Even I don't like saying it. And you can also find our merch pages on Facebook. Just search for TRWT merch. And on Instagram, it's at TRWT_merch. And we have everything you can think of. We have shirts, we have hoodies, we have long sleeve tees, we have masks, we make hats, we've got buttons coming, coffee mugs, you name it, we got it. Everything's made custom to your liking and shipped. And all this month, shipping is on us too. So you buy your items, free shipping. So definitely check us out there. Get in touch with Curbs, our merch maker, and get something started. I guarantee you're gonna like it. I give it the South Philly Psycho seal of approval. Okay. So again, thank you for hanging in there with me, guys. Like, I don't know what happened tonight. I'm sure we'll get it all worked out by next week, and we'll be back at full strength and better than ever. But until then, everybody, please stay safe out there. Wear your mask. Don't be a Loki. And just cleaner style, because fuck it. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night. Bang.